Hello world, welcome back to our channel Python for Future. From now on, we will start to learn Python. To learn Python, first thing you will need is a Python and a Jupyter notebook to be installed on your device. I have already made a video on how to download Python on Windows and how to download Anaconda for Jupyter notebook. You can check that video on our channel. I will provide a link to that video in the description of this video. So let's begin our first lecture. Here I want to explain you guys one thing, that's comments, which means if we don't want Python to execute any particular line, we will write down that line like this, like simply write hash and then press shift and enter. So the Python will not execute this particular line. Let's move ahead. In this video, we will learn what is a variable and what is a data type, as our title suggests. So imagine variable is like a file, box or a container in which we will store some kind of a value. Let's take an example. Suppose if we want to store any value like 10, 20, 30 or 100 or any value, what we will do, we will write a equals to 10. So here our value is a 10 which is stored inside a. To check that, we will write a shift enter. Here we got to know we have stored value 10 inside of a. So let's take another example. Suppose if we want to store any name like Kamal, Nayan or any other name, what we will do, we will write down like a equals to double quote okay. So here I have stored a value that's a Kamal inside a. Let's print it, a shift enter. Okay, here we got to know we have stored the value that is Kamal inside of a. So here a is our variable. I hope you guys understood what is a variable. Sorry to disturb you guys, but if you want to motivate us, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also follow us on the Instagram. The link of our Instagram channel is in the description. So let's move on to our second question, that is, what is a data type? In the beginning of this video, we learned what is a variable, like a equals to 10. Here we know 10 is our value, means 10 is our data which we have stored inside a variable a. But which type of data is stored inside of a? Which type of value is stored inside of it? To know that, here we have a data types. In Python, there are different data types like integers, floating point, complex, strings, list, dictionaries, tuples, sets, and booleans. Let me explain you guys these data types with their simple definitions. Once I explain you guys with the definitions, then we will see some important examples of them. So what is an integer? Integer is like any whole number which does not have a decimal point in it, like 10. Here it's a whole number, it does not have any decimal point inside of it. Then what is a floating point? Floating point is any number which has a decimal point in it, like this, 10.12. Here we can see there's a decimal point inside of this value, so it's a floating point value. So next is what is complex? We have learned complex numbers in our school days, like it has one real number and one imaginary number. That's what we call a complex number, like 5. Here we can see the 1 is a real number, that's a 5, and 4j is our imaginary number. That's why we call it as a complex value. What is a string? String is a sequence of characters. Here's the thing to note down, guys. We always denote string in a double quote or a single quote, like this. Okay, here we can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. That's why we call it as a string. Then what is a list? List is an order sequence of objects. Means it can have a integer, floating value, complex value, or a string inside of it. Then what is a dictionaries? Dictionaries is an unordered collection. Then what is a tuple? Tuples is an ordered collection of an object. Then what is a sets? Sets is an unordered collection of a unique object. Then what is a boolean? Boolean is like if we want to know our statement is true or false, then we will use it. Now we are done with the definitions. Now we will see some important examples in this lecture, and we will try to cover the remaining examples in our upcoming lectures. So let's take an example of an integer, floating point, and a string data type. First, let's take an example of an integer data type. So if we write a equals to 10, so as I explained you guys earlier that integer is any whole number. So here our value 10, which is a whole number, we have stored this value 10 inside of variable a. So as it's a whole number, that's why the data type of a, variable a, is a integer. Let's check the data type. To check the data type in Python, we will write type and then braces a. Here we got to know that the data type of variable a is an integer. Let's take an example of a floating point. If we write a equals to 10.12, as I mentioned earlier, floating point is any number which has a decimal point in it. So here our value 10.12, it has a decimal point in it. So the data type of our variable a is a float. To check the data type, we will write type this a here. Here we got to know the data type of our variable a is a float. Let's take an example of a string data type. If we write a equals to into double quote. Okay, so here I have written characters. Here we have n, a, y, a, and these characters. So the data type of a will be string because we have written in characters. This value we have stored inside of variable a. To check the data type of a variable a, we will write type a. Okay, here we got to know the data type of our variable a is a string. That's it for this video, guys. To get the latest update of our channel, like which video we will post next, then don't forget to follow us on the Instagram. Link of our Instagram channel is in the description of this video. And if you got to know what is a variable and what is a data type, do like this video and comment down below to let us know if you have any doubts. We will try to clear your doubts, and also share this video with your friends who wants to learn Python. See you in the next video.